friends, and welcome back. Do you hear that? No? No, we don't hear anything. Maybe a little bit of the bee noise, but we are in our first sealed in room in Vintagestory. We finally got enough planks to finish the roof off, and I found a couple of spare doors while exploring the same ruin that we're in, and now we don't hear a thing. It is nice and silent and quiet. Today, we are going to try and finish up some of the other buildings next door that also need to be sealed up, but that means we need to make some windows and do a few other things. So, with no further ado, let's dive right in. So as mentioned, if you look in the top left corner of my screen, you will see that we indeed have a house. It's got the little house icon. This is a closed-in room. Like I said, I found a few more doors and whatnot, and more of these planks. Those were all over in this ruin here, which I've torn down. We found a couple of other goodies in there. We found a tuning cylinder. We found some Jonas parts. That's really great. I don't know what they're used for. Let's see here. Can they be used for things? Yeah, it looks like we can use them to, oh, that's how we make a teleporter, huh? All right, well, that's interesting. Well, this is good. So we've got a bunch of these parts. We can slowly start making things if we eventually get to that point. But right now, today, we are mainly concerned about making glass. So let's see here. Go ahead and give me my glass out of this. Oh, right. We can't get the glass out. We have to actually break it down to get the glass out, which is a shame. This particular type of bloomery, we do have to break first to be able to get the pieces back out. We can put the bloomery bricks back with all of the other bloomery bricks until we're ready to make another one. But that's 24 pieces of glass as predicted. So that's a pretty good amount. I also went ahead and got the tin bronze out of that crucible that we had issues with previously. So I'm feeling much better about that. So today we are going to take some of our ores that we've got here, all of these lovely nuggets and pieces, and we are going to make up some additional ores. We're going to do some smelting here. I'm going to make some more tin bronze, I think. And I'm going to make some lead into this molybdenechakos that I mentioned so we can make some lovely lanterns as well. Now, I do believe we can also go ahead and we need to make the windows. And those, if I remember, the leaded windows, yeah. So we are going to need a lead ingot to make those in addition to our glass. So we will make up some lead ingots as well. The last thing I wanted to check on here is we have the lantern recipe. Lantern, there we go. But that's not the one we want. We want the lantern that actually matches everything. I don't know what all of these are. We're gonna have to go back and look at all of this extra stuff that mods add. Let's see here. Right, these are the lanterns. We want the molybdenechakos lantern, and there's 5 of them. Let's see here. I am guessing that's because this is being made with a lining. Yes, there we go. So the lining is going to give us much better light. The linings we only can make by smithing, so we need to smith that first out of a piece of gold. And it looks like, I think that the liner is separate from the plates. I added the mod that allows us to have the individual lantern lining, so lantern liner. Because if you think about it, you wouldn't need a whole ingot's worth of gold inside of a lantern to really make it do its thing, right? We'd only need a little bit. Now, we don't have enough gold quite yet to be able to make an entire lining of a lantern. Is there any other way to make a lining? Let's see here. There's a silver lantern lining, but that also is going to require more than we've got. So I think our first few lanterns are going to be unlined for now, and we will upgrade those as we go. So we'll just work on the molybdenechakos one today, and I cannot say that word. I keep struggling with it. All right, so to do that, let's double check again. I think it's just one plate, but it might be multiple. Molybdenechakos lantern here. It is one plate, and we have a plate mold. So we will make one of these for now. I should have made a bunch more plate molds, but right now we've just got the one. So we'll just do that. We'll make a single ingot of that, and then we can probably go ahead and make up some lead ingots as well afterwards to be able to smelt into these ingot molds, and those we will be using to make the windows. So let's do that. Let's start with the molybdenechakos first, and I believe that simple charcoal will be enough to make this. So we are going to need, let's double check. I made a rack for our molds because it was taking up so much space here. Looks like a plate mold needs 200 units of metal. And I accidentally dropped all of them on the ground. So that means I think that we are gonna need Let's see, is it 36 to 4? Let's find out. So yes, I think it's 36 pieces of our lead to 4 pieces of copper, and that will give us our molybdenachocos. So we're gonna do that. Let's go ahead and get this lit up first with peat. I brought in a bunch of peat from our storage so that we have it right here for working. We just need to get this up to the full temperature of 1652. So let's put, I think 5 pieces is too many, but we'll find out really quick. And then we light this up. There we go. All right, so 4 was indeed enough. So now we can start adding charcoal to this. I'm gonna start with 4 pieces of charcoal and see if that gets us up to the temperature, the 1983 that we need, and in there long enough to smelt the rest of this. While that's going, let's not forget to pick up our tongs because we do not want to have a bad day. All right, we're getting close here. I'm going to pull the last 2 pieces of charcoal off of here. I think that will finish smelting even as this starts to cool down rapidly. So hopefully that will keep going here. Yeah, so the temperature is going to level there. Perfect. That is now done. We can pour this in here and we will have our first lantern done momentarily. Let's throw this back on the fire real quick here. And that's still really hot. So while that's still really hot, let's go ahead and put the peat on it in just a second. First things first though, we are going to grab up our lead and finish this up. As I mentioned, we want to do 4 ingots of lead, so that means 80 pieces. There we go, just like that. That goes in here. That's going to start heating up. We're going to once again use our peat to get up to full temperature. And I forgot that lead has such a low point of heat. Like at this point, it's already melting, even at being less than 1,000 degrees. So we're just going to use peat. And hopefully peat will be enough to finish off this lead without us having to use a single piece of charcoal. That's actually wonderful. I thought that we were going to have to heat all of this up. So that's smelting 1983. This is smelting 620. That's easy. We can pretty much do that in an oven at home if we wanted. All right, and lead is now done. We can now use this in our ingot molds to make ourselves up some full ingots of lead, just like that. Wonderful. 3 and 4. Brilliant. Okay, so that takes care of all of that. The last thing on our list here is we are going to make up a bronze saw. So let's grab our saw blade mold here. Going to run all the way back here. Great. Throw this down. We also, while we are at it, the only thing I don't like about the rack is you can't tell what item is in what slot. We don't want to make another hammer. We might want to make another pickaxe because I'm just about used up our existing pickaxe. Throw that down there. And then, of course, we are going to want to make our ceramic anvil. Excuse me. We're going to make a bronze anvil. So that's going to have to happen. Now, I don't remember if the bronze bits alone will work. So that's going to create 1 bronze ingot. That's going to account for this. So we still need the 9 more in there. So like I said, we had done 180. I think we could do 160 to 20 ingots of tin. I think that's right. Yeah, that should work. So that will create 900 tin bronze. But oh, we can't mix them. That's the only problem here. So it's only gonna have to be 1 at a time. So let's do this and let's give ourselves a little more and bring it up to 10 units. Perfect. Okay, so that's going to be 10 ingots altogether. And we will go ahead and get this lit up, and then we're going to use the remaining bronze bits after that's done to make whichever other mold we have not done yet at this point. So let's see here. 4 pieces of our peat. Now there's a lot more tin bronze in here, so this is going to take longer to heat up, I think, to get up to the temperature of the peat. So we might actually need 6 pieces to be able to get that up to the 1600 temperature that will give us. But we still have plenty of charcoal. Of the 50 pieces I think that we started with, we still have 36 after already making our glass and our lead and our molybdenachocos. So all of that is going really well for us. So we'll just wait for this to do its thing. All right, while we're keeping an eye on this, let's take a moment to chat, shall we? I had mentioned this on a post that I had made on a previous video last week, but you know, this time of year is kind of a hard time for a lot of folks, and a lot of people are struggling right now, particularly here in the US. I know a lot of people are dealing with all sorts of government programs that have been cut. I'm not going to get political on you folks, but what I am going to say is this is a great time to think about doing some end-of-year donations to good causes. Personally, I really love to donate to local food banks and hunger charities whenever I can, and I strongly recommend that folks do that if you are able as well. Now, I know not everyone has a job right now, and so donating money might be tight for you, but you can always also donate your time. Most food banks do allow you to come and volunteer to help, either filling boxes for food donation programs that go out or sorting incoming donations that are coming in. You can always also just donate food directly to the food bank as well. They're usually on their website will have a list of items that they are specifically looking for. I recommend you look from that list rather than just giving them that can of cranberry sauce that's been sitting on your shelf for 4 years. Nobody needs that. Nobody's going to take that. That's not actually a valuable donation, unfortunately. So things like canned beans, etc., those are always good donations at most places. Peanut butter, that's a wonderful one. Anyways, I am rambling at this point, but if you can help out this time of year, there are a lot of people in need, and I do recommend it. So please do consider helping out if you can. And with that little rambling speech, we are now just about at the point where our tin bronze is done. So we just need to hold on for a few more seconds here. There we go. There is a white hot crucible of tin bronze. And now we make the long pour to fill all the way up our anvil. And this is the anvil that is going to do most of the hard work for us up until the point where we are ready to start producing iron and then steel. All right, so we did that one. Let's go ahead and make a saw blade with the other one that takes care of that. We're gonna put this back on here real quick, and while we still have some temperature, we're gonna throw the rest of our tin bronze bits in here, and we are gonna smelt this up into one last one and make just one more pickaxe for ourselves. But the saw blade hopefully will solve our saw problems, and that saw... And hopefully then we can actually use this to properly cut up those aged wooden planks that I've been wanting to use for a while. So let's see if that solves it for us. Now, while this is going here, this is basically up to temperature, so we do need to throw in a couple of pieces of charcoal. Let's try 3 to start, but we're gonna, no, not drop that on the ground. While that's going really quickly, this lead is already done. The good thing about lead is that it is a cooler temperature, so it smelts and cools very quickly. We can now use this to make up our next ingredients here. So I think the only thing we are missing is our clear quartz, which I believe I left next door in one of these very many containers. No, I definitely did not. Must have left it over here. There we go. Yeah, we need clear quartz to be able to make this, not regular quartz. So let's grab that. Did we drop those accidentally? I think we got them back. Yeah, okay, we're good. So candle, a couple of pieces of clear quartz, and of course a plate, and now we have a beautiful lantern. I'm so used to getting rewards here that I would have expected something to go off because we've been playing so much of the other block game, but it did not. So now we just have a beautiful lantern. Let's go ahead and replace this torch holder with it. And I don't think we can attach... Yeah, we could just hang it from the ceiling just like that. But that looks a little awkward, even if it is very well lit in here. I guess I'll just leave that for now because it does light up the room nicely. But we might have to do something a little more elegant with how it's hanging from the roof at some point. Okay. So let's see here. This is now done. We already have our tin bronze ready to go. Let's grab that back out. And we are going to grab our charcoal back out. We will make one more tin bronze pickaxe just like that. Great. And this is so hot, I feel like it's almost worth making another one while we're at it or something, but I don't think we really desperately need anything else. So we'll just leave it at that for now. Maybe what we do is make some more nails and strips real quick with the remaining copper that we've got. That would be a valuable project. So let's see here. This is still at 2,000. So let's go ahead and give ourselves 20 of these nuggets in there. Please get up to speed quickly so that we don't have to add too much more charcoal. It looks like we are going to have to put at least one more piece of charcoal on there, but that should be enough that we can make some nails and strips too. Yeah, there we go. We did it. Perfect. Okay, so let's grab our crucible and we will make more nails and strips real fast. And those will give us at least 4 more chests that we can make, so I feel good about that. While that is cooling, let's go ahead and start prepping for exactly what we want to do. Let's first put our tongs down because we don't need these anymore. There you go. So I want to break out a couple of these slabs where the windows currently are because I'm going to turn these into proper windows momentarily, and I'm going to actually burn myself a little bit in trying to do so. So I think that's going to be a window there. I think this stays a window there. Basically, I think we keep basically all of the windows that are already in here, and we just put panes in them. So that'll keep basically the same feel that we have of this space. Okay, so these are hardened. The anvil is indeed hardened as well. Oh, but we need to break it. That's fine. There we go. Now we have an anvil. We'll use that for our anviling needs. Although, honestly, we probably should put that closer to the door here because we'll probably be coming in and out of here to do our various metalworking. All right, so that's done. I do believe now we can use this saw to be able to make a tin bronze saw, and the recipe is, oh, it's just a stick. That is so easy. I love it. Perfect. All right, so now we have a proper saw. That's gonna be wonderful. We need to now use our lead and our glass on some of those planks. So somewhere around here, yeah, there we go. We have aged wooden planks. I think we can use the saw on these, there we go, and get boards back. This is what we've been waiting for, friends. Okay, 52 of those. Now we can make up our leaded glass windows, just like this. And that's 4 of those at a time that we can make. So let's do 3 more. There we go. And that's going to be all we can do at this point until we make more lead. But making lead is easy for us, thankfully. But let's see how far we get with just the few that we have here. So we'll put 1 here and 1 here. And already it's starting to sound a little quieter. Let's go upstairs. We'll put 1 in the back window there. Looking out over here, 1 by our bed. There we go. And this should be the last one. And if I did that right, there we go. We can see up here in the top corner that it thinks, oh, that this is a cellar. That's weird. Thinks that this is a cellar and not a house. If I go in here, it's a house. If I go in here, it is a cellar. Huh. Well, that is indeed strange, but it's keeping the noise out. And as far as I can tell, it seems to be sealed in. The only reason I can think of is that maybe it's these slabs, but no, we've got those next door too. I'm not sure what's up with that. Well, for now, we'll figure out that mystery later. That's good to know though, because that does mean in theory, we could just have our food sitting out in here, I think, and this would be perfectly fine. All right, so let's go ahead and make up our other tin bronze pickaxe as we mentioned that we wanted to do. So now we have 2 spare pickaxes in addition to this one, which is almost broken at this point. There's not a lot of durability left on there. Okay, so now we have a nice sealed in house, and I think this is starting to look pretty good. Yeah, look at that. I might move this torch too. I think this will look better if we put it right next door here. Let's put it on that spot by the door. There we go. And while we're at it, maybe we start making this look just a little nicer. Let's put some slabs down here to give us some nice steps up into our house. And then let's continue this path a little bit further. We've got 27 blocks of the stony soil right now. And now that we've got so many stones hanging out, we can make a lot more if we want. So let's go ahead and do this, carve all of this out, and I think we should have more than enough to fill this in. There we go, just like that. And I think what we'll end up doing is maybe we go down this section. We just move this one a little bit over there. And I don't think we have quite enough. Yeah, we just need 2 more pieces. Well, that's easy enough, right? As I mentioned, we can indeed make stony soil at this point because I do have a lot of andesite that we have been gathering up. So let me grab a bunch of that and let's just look up real quick. Stony soil. Stone path? Stone path, right, that's what it's called. I will get these right one of these days. Okay, I wish I had a paver's road blueprint. That would be great, but we cannot do that yet. Let's grab our low fertility soil, We'll grab up our stones and we will make up 14 stone paths to start. Actually, we should probably make up a bunch more than that. There's no reason that we should be stingy on this. Let's grab this. Let's grab this. There we go. That is a boatload of stony soil for us. So 32 to start. Okay, I will take it. Oh, and then I will put it down in the wrong spot. And I just want to show the one room that really isn't there yet is our kitchen. And this needs a lot more work still. So I put the oven up. I put our shelves up here. We've got a little fire pit in the corner. We've got more shelves. We've got a chest with our seeds and our tool, all of that in there. And then this goes down to the larder downstairs, aka our lovely, lovely cellar, where we can have all of our foods stored for the winter or long term. So this is going to need a lot of attention to really become something usable. And we're kind of just in this awkward space where we haven't finished building it out yet. So that will be a future project. We're not going to worry about that today, but we will start to slowly pick away at this, you know, breaking up the rubble and trying to get a little bit more of this cleared out, all of that sort of stuff that needs to happen here. All right, it is a rainy and miserable late night, so I do want to do one more chore while we are doing, and that is I want to get our bees set up. These fully grown bee skeps, we're going to actually pull off here, just like that. We're going to put you down here temporarily. There you go, hang out there. We are going to grab a ceramic hive and put this on the spot that you were, and now we can add this skep to it. There we go, and now we have a populated skep. And then throw our honey pot on top. There we go. And now we have a ceramic hive. So this one, we already have a full honey pot. These, actually all 4 of these are full. We're gonna get those in a second. Let me finish getting up all of these skeps, and then we will be ready to go. Okay, there's all of our hives deployed, at least all of the ceramic hives I've made so far. In between episodes, it looks like I'm gonna need to make at least 9 more, but you know what? I might also push over here and do a whole other row in addition. So maybe even more than that we're gonna want. Like I said, I just want oodles and oodles of our honey. Let's see here, can I grab up that honey pot now? Yes, yes I can. These will go straight into my inventory. Can move that around a little bit and give myself more room. All right, now I have so much honey, and we can do our first little experiment here, which is to take some of our empty barrels and put the honey into this. All right, so we just take our honey pots and we put them on the ground, just like this. Let's get all 4 of them down. There we go. Now we should be able to take our knife, which is nice and clean, and scrape them with the right click, and now we have our honeycomb. We can then go to our barrel, and I believe if we shift and right click, we will squeeze honey into the barrel. So we've got 0.4 liters of honey. So now we just repeat that process with each of these, just like that. Shift and right click. There we go, slowly getting our honey out. And then once we have all of this, we will be sitting in a pretty good place. We can use this beeswax for a variety of recipes as well. Let's take a look here. Beeswax we can use to make candles. Let's see here, right like this. So those candles that we weren't coming up with, we can cook those in a pot with string to make our candles. Or it looks like there's a couple of advanced recipes here with rope to make 3 at once. I don't think that's a better recipe than the flax recipe though. So certainly something to keep in mind. Beeswax can also be used for, let's see here, sealing crocks, I believe. I think that's how that works. Ooh, waxed patterns? Huh. Absolutely fascinating. I didn't even know most of this stuff existed. Oh, and most importantly, this is what we were hoping for. We are gonna make these hive panels. Let's see, how many hive panels do we get? We get 4 out of that. Okay, in a barrel. So that's gonna be something that we're gonna do in the immediate future once we have a few more honeycombs here. Well, this ruin still needs a little bit of work before we can call it a proper home, and we probably need to get some more proper roofs put on this too while we are at it. But we are at a good stopping point for today. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you back here next time. Bye, friends.